Now that we know a little bit about what the DSC search index does, tokenizing descriptive values, applying complex query predicates, and producing a set of row identifiers, primary key values, that are returned to DSC core for further processing, we enter a brief discussion about a number of further DSC search metadata objects. Regardless of the number of columns in a DSC table that have the DSC search index ability placed upon them, the DSC search index is a table-wide object. That is, given a DSC table with 10 columns and a DSC search index ability to add to only 2 columns, there is still only one DSC search index on said table. As such, the DSC search index name is the same as the DSC table name, upon which the DSC search index was created. All DSC tables and the DSC search index placed on each are uniquely named by the combination of key space name and table name. While there is no technical limit to the number of DSC search indexes created or the number of columns given DSC search ability, there is a cost to indexing. All indexes are, in effect, vertical slices of the tables they support. The index contains all rows and a subset of columns, the index columns. Thus, inserting, updating, or deleting from a table with many index columns incurs the additional operational load of not only changing the row proper, but also any index entries. As such, only index columns that you know are referenced frequently by query predicates. DSC search indexes can be created and managed using CQL and/or the DSE tool command line utility. DSC search uses Apache Lucene libraries to generate and maintain index data files. Similar to DSC core, these index data files are immutable, appended to, and compacted on a scheduled basis. Index data is stored one index per directory in the parent directory specified in the DSC YAML with the setting solar_data_dir. DSC search index data is updated automatically as the DSC table proper is updated. To ensure that these updates occur, a specially designated commit log is assigned to each DSC search index. Lastly, DSC search index data is co-located on the same node with the data in the DSC table proper that the index data refers to. When you call to create a DSC search index, you specify a number of index configuration details. These details are organized into two groups, schema and config or configuration. Schema is what you might expect: column names, column types, the treatment a column value receives as it is indexed, and other. Config offers a number of settings related to memory use and other. Each of these two groups of metadata are stored in solar_admin.solar_resources system table as blobs. Each of these two groups, schema and config, are associated with distinct CQL commands, commands for just schema and then just config, as well as distinct legacy Apache Lucene XML encoded data files, one for just schema and one for just config. Ultimately, you may need to execute one CQL create search index statement, followed by a number of CQL alter search index statements to get exactly the DSC search index ability your end user application requires. As such, the metadata you define is first pending, received by DSC and in DSC system catalogs, and then active after you deploy or build said DSC search index. DSC search indexes are always available. That is, after you create or build the initial DSC search index, any subsequent DSC search index recreation or reconfiguring is done in full multi-user mode, and the new index, once complete, is made active with no interruption in service or processing. Once any changes to the DSC search index are made active, both the pending and active metadata will be the same until the next change in DSC search metadata. At that time, any DSC search index changes will appear only as pending and then not active. Consider these are all design phase activities. Once a DSC search index is in place, you may need to change it only when your end user application requirements change. And then the last of the DSC search index metadata objects, resource files, also known as resources. DSC search indexes have the ability to remove stop words, words like a, and, the, or other. DSC search indexes can also support synonyms: mobile phone, cell phone, mobile, moving picture, movie, picture show, Elizabeth, Liz, Beth, Tina, and more. By convention, these lists of data are submitted to DSC search using the DSC tool command line utility and are stored in the solaradmin.solarresources table. These resource files are later referred to by an identifier specified at time of submission and are table-wide in scope. They are also dropped when the DSC search index is dropped. Versioning updates are performed by uploading a new version of said resource file and then calling to rebuild the index as overviewed previously when we discuss active and pending.